you think you're lost. But what if the map you've been following was never meant for you? What if the destination you're chasing doesn't even exist? There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes not from doing too much, but from searching too hard. You know the feeling. It sits in your chest like a stone. You wake up each day, and the question is already there, waiting for you. What am I supposed to be doing with my life? You scroll. You compare. You watch others who seem to have found their way, and you wonder what secret they discovered that you missed. You read the books. You listen to the podcasts. You try the morning routines, the goal-setting frameworks, the vision boards. And still, that feeling persists like you're standing in a dark room, hands outstretched, searching for a light switch that should be right there, but isn't. Here's what no one tells you. The feeling of being lost isn't a symptom of failure. It's a symptom of looking. Think about it. A tree doesn't ask itself if it's in the right forest. A river doesn't wonder if it's flowing in the wrong direction. The moon doesn't lose sleep over whether it's orbiting correctly. And yet we, with all our intelligence and awareness, spend years of our lives convinced that we've somehow missed the turn, failed to read the signs, ended up in the wrong story. The Sufis have a teaching about a man who loses his keys at night. He's on his hands and knees under a street lamp, searching frantically. A friend walks by and asks what he's looking for. "My keys," the man says. "I dropped them in the alley." The friend is confused. "Then why are you searching here?" The man looks up. "Because this is where the light is." We laugh at this story. We see the absurdity immediately. And yet this is precisely what we do with our lives. We search where it's comfortable to search, where others have searched, where the light of social approval shines brightest. We look for our purpose in careers that sound impressive. We look for our worth in achievements that can be measured. We look for our peace in destinations that can be reached. But here's the truth that changes everything. You're not lost because you haven't found the right path. You're lost because you're looking for a path in the first place. Let me share something with you. Something that might feel unsettling at first, but holds a strange kind of relief once you let it settle. There is no right direction. Not in the way you've been taught to think about it. Not as some external GPS coordinate your soul is supposed to reach. The direction you're looking for isn't out there in the world. It's not in a career, a relationship, a city, or a version of yourself you haven't become yet. The direction is how you look. Alan Watts once said that we spend our whole lives trying to get to a point in the future where we can finally relax and be happy. But that point never comes because we keep moving it. It's always just ahead, just after this promotion, just after this relationship, just after we lose the weight, gain the clarity, fix the thing that feels broken. We're chasing a horizon, and horizons, by definition, can never be reached. The mind is a magnificent instrument, but it's also a trickster. It convinces you that the unease you feel is evidence that something is wrong with your life, that you're off course, that you need to fix, find, or figure out something before you can rest. But what if that unease isn't a sign that you're lost? What if it's a sign that you're finally waking up to the fact that you were never supposed to arrive anywhere at all? In Zen, they speak of the pathless path. It's not a riddle, it's a recognition. the spiritual journey, the search for meaning, the quest for purpose, it isn't about finding the right road. It's about realizing that the one walking is already whole. You see, the feeling of being lost arises because you've split yourself in two. There's the you that exists right now, messy, uncertain, full of questions, and then there's the you you're supposed to become, the successful one, the peaceful one, the one who has it all figured out. And the gap between these two versions creates suffering. But here's what the mystics knew, what the poets have always whispered, what your own deepest intuition has been trying to tell you: there is no gap. There never was. You invented it the moment you started believing that where you are isn't enough. You're not lost. You're just standing still, looking frantically around when you could be looking within. So what does this mean for you? Right now, today, in the middle of your actual life with its actual confusion and questions. It means this: stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, what am I avoiding feeling? Because beneath the frantic search for purpose, there's often something simpler: a discomfort, a fear, a grief, an emptiness that we're terrified to face, so we cover it with productivity, with plans, with the noble quest for meaning. Try something, just for a moment. Stop searching, stop planning, stop trying to figure it out. Put your hand on your chest, feel your breath, notice that you're here, aware. This moment exactly as it is, this is not the waiting room. This is it. This is life. The thing you're searching for is the one doing the searching. You don't need a new direction. You need to stop running. You need to turn around and see what's been following you this whole time: your own presence, your own awareness, the quiet, steady knowing that exists beneath all the noise. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a mystery to be lived. What if everything you've been taught about finding yourself was designed to make sure you never do? Let's talk about the stories we inherit, the ones we never agreed to, but somehow ended up living anyway. From the time you were young, you absorbed a narrative. It went something like this: life is a journey from here to there. You start incomplete, and through effort, achievement, and accumulation, you become complete. You arrive. This story is everywhere. It's in the movies you watch, the books you read, the way your parents spoke about success. It's woven into the fabric of modern life so deeply that you don't even see it as a story anymore. You see it as reality, and so you build your life around it. You set goals, you make plans, you create timelines. You measure yourself against milestones. Did I get the degree? Did I get the job? Did I get the partner, the house, the status, the respect? And here's where it gets insidious. Even when you achieve these things, the feeling you were chasing doesn't arrive. There's a brief high, yes, a moment of relief, but then the emptiness returns, quieter now, but deeper, and you think, maybe I aimed too low, maybe I need more. So you raise the bar, you reach for the next thing, and the next, and the story keeps you running, always toward, never here. The Buddha called this tanha the thirst that can never be quenched. Not because you're broken, but because you're drinking salt water. The more you consume, the thirstier you become. But here's what I want you to understand: this isn't your fault. You didn't choose this. You inherited it. It's the operating system of the world you were born into. A world that profits from your sense of lack. That needs you to feel incomplete, so you'll keep consuming, keep striving, keep believing that happiness is just one more purchase, one more achievement, one more transformation away. The economy runs on your dissatisfaction. The self-help industry runs on your belief that you're not enough yet. Social media runs on your fear that everyone else has figured out what you're missing. And so you're not just lost, you're kept lost. On purpose. By design. Now here's where it gets interesting. And by interesting, I mean liberating. Once you see the story for what it is, once you recognize that you've been living inside an inherited narrative, rather than your own truth, you can make a different choice. Not a choice about what to do, but a choice about how to see. In Sufism, there's a concept called fana, the annihilation of the false self. It sounds dramatic, maybe even frightening, but it's actually the most natural thing in the world. It's the dissolution of the character you've been playing, the one who needs to prove something, the one who's behind schedule, the one who's lost. When that character dissolves, what remains? Not nothing, not emptiness in the scary sense, but presence. Pure, unconstructed, effortless being. You see, the you that feels lost is not your true self. It's your ego, that collection of thoughts, memories, beliefs, and identities that you've mistaken for who you are. And the ego needs to feel lost. It needs a problem. It needs a project, because without a problem to solve, the ego has no function. It dissolves. And that terrifies it, so it creates problems. It manufactures crises of meaning. It convinces you that you're off track, that you're wasting your life, that you need to find your purpose before it's too late. But your true self, the awareness that watches all of this, has never been lost. It's not looking for anything. It's simply here, witnessing, open, complete. Think of it this way: the ocean doesn't lose itself in a wave. The wave is a temporary expression of the ocean, but it's never separate from it. When the wave crashes, the ocean remains. When your identity shifts, when your plans collapse, when everything you thought you were falls apart, the awareness that holds it all remains, unchanged, unshaken, whole. This is what the mystics mean when they say, you are not the seeker. You are that which is sought. The thing you're looking for is the one looking. The direction you need is the one you're facing from the direction of pure awareness itself. So how do you step out of the story? How do you stop playing the character of the lost one? You don't. Not by force. Not by trying. You simply notice. You become aware of the narrative as it's happening. The next time you feel that familiar H, that sense that you should be further along, that you're running out of time, that everyone else knows something, you don't pause. Don't try to fix it. Don't reach for a solution. Just notice the feeling. Notice the thought. And ask yourself, who is noticing this? Who is aware of the anxiety? Who is watching the story unfold? That one, that quiet, spacious awareness is not lost, has never been lost, cannot be lost. The practice isn't to find yourself, it's to recognize yourself as the awareness, not as the story. And when you do, something shifts. The urgency fades. The need to know, to fix, to become it relaxes. Not because you've given up, but because you've seen through the illusion. You realize there's nowhere to go, because you're already here. You've always been here. The destination was the starting point all along. What if the thing you're running from is the only thing that can set you free? There's a reason we keep moving, a reason we fill every silence with sound, every stillness with doing, every moment of nothing with something. We're afraid. Not of failure. Not really. We're afraid of stopping. Because when we stop, when we truly stop, we have to feel what's there. And what's there is often uncomfortable. It's the grief we never processed, the fear we never faced. The emptiness we've been taught to believe means something is wrong. So we run. We optimize. We hustle. We fill our calendars and our minds. We make ourselves indispensable, irreplaceable, constantly needed. And we call this living. We call this purpose. But underneath it all, there's a whisper, a quiet, persistent voice that asks, what are you running from? You've felt it. In those rare moments of quiet, when the music stops, when the notifications go silent, when you're alone with yourself and there's no distraction left to reach for, there's a weight, a heaviness. Not the kind that comes from being burdened, but the kind that comes from being real, from being unfiltered, from being exactly who and where you are without the performance, without the narrative, without the next thing to reach for. And most of us would rather do anything than sit with that weight. The modern world has trained us to see stillness as the enemy. Stillness is unproductive. Stillness doesn't scale. Stillness doesn't earn. Stillness doesn't prove anything. But here's the paradox. It's in stillness that everything you've been searching for has been waiting. In meditation, there's a phenomenon teachers rarely warn you about. When you first sit down to be still, to watch your thoughts, to simply be, all hell breaks loose. The mind panics. It throws everything at you, memories, anxieties, plans, regrets, itches, discomforts. It does everything it can to get you to move, to do, to return to the familiar loop of distraction. Why? Because the mind's survival depends on you believing you need it, that you need its constant commentary, its problem solving, its endless strategizing about past and future. But when you sit still, when you refuse to engage, refuse to follow, refuse to believe, every thought that arises, something remarkable happens. The noise begins to settle. And beneath the noise, there's something else. Something the mystics have been pointing to for thousands of years. The Hindus call it Atman. The Buddhists call it Buddha nature. The Christians call it the kingdom of heaven within. It's not a thing. It's not an experience you can grasp or achieve. It's more like a recognition, a remembering. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your story or your identity or your history. You are the space in which all of these arise. The awareness, the consciousness, the stillness itself. And that stillness, it's not empty in a lonely way. It's full, full of presence, full of peace, full of an okayness that doesn't depend on anything being different than it is. Rumi said it beautifully. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. You've been looking for a direction because you forgot you are the ocean. You thought you were just the wave, lost among millions of other waves, trying to find your way back to something. But the wave has never been separate from the ocean, never for a single moment. The direction you're looking for is the direction inward, not inward toward your psychology, your past, your wounds, though those are part of the landscape, but inward toward the awareness that holds all of it. The consciousness that has been here, unchanged, since before your first memory. the stillness that will remain when your last thought fades. That's your true home. That's what you've been homesick for all along. Here's what I'm inviting you to do. Not tomorrow. Not when things calm down. Right now. Stop, wherever you are. Whatever you're doing, stop for 60 seconds. Close your eyes if you can, or soften your gaze. And just feel yourself breathing. Don't change it. Don't improve it. Just notice it. Notice the breath coming in, the breath going out. Notice the sensation of your body, the weight of it, the aliveness. And notice that you're noticing. There's a you that's aware of all this, not thinking about it, just aware. Stay there for 60 seconds, in the stillness, in the awareness. Let the thoughts come and go like clouds. You don't have to follow them. You don't have to solve anything. Just be. This is it. This is the practice. This is how you stop looking in the wrong direction and start resting in the only direction that's real. Not outward into the world of accomplishments and arrivals, but inward into the stillness that's always been here. The stillness that you are. And when you open your eyes, when you return to the world and its demands, take that stillness with you. Let it color everything. Let it remind you you don't need to find anything. You don't need to become anyone. You're already here. You're already whole. You're already the awareness you've been searching for. The greatest journey you'll ever take is the one that brings you back to where you've always been. There's an ancient story about a fish who spent his entire life searching for the ocean. He swam desperately from place to place, asking everyone he met, "Where is this ocean I keep hearing about? I've looked everywhere, but I can't find it." The other fish would look at him, puzzled. "You're in it," they'd say. "You've always been in it." But the fish couldn't understand. He'd spent so long searching, so long believing he was separate from what he sought, that he couldn't see the truth that surrounded him completely. This is us, all of us, swimming through our lives, searching desperately for something we've never actually been without. You've tried so many things, read so many books, listened to so many teachers, followed so many paths, and each one promised, "This is the way. This will lead you home," and maybe they helped. Maybe each one taught you something valuable. Maybe each one dissolved a layer of confusion, released a knot of tension, opened a window you didn't know was closed. But none of them could give you what you already have. None of them could make you into what you already are. Because the search itself is the only obstacle, not the world, not your circumstances, not your past, or your mistakes, or your limitations. The search. The belief that you need to get somewhere other than here. The story that you're incomplete, that you're behind, that you're lost. That belief is the only thing standing between you and the recognition of your own wholeness. And here's the beautiful, frustrating, liberating truth. You can't search your way out of the search. You can't think your way into presence. You can't become what you already are. You can only stop, surrender, let go. The Zen masters have a phrase for this, the great death. It sounds ominous, but it's actually the most gentle thing imaginable. It's the death of the one who's trying, the death of the character, the identity, the story of me that needs to accomplish something, reach somewhere, become someone. When that dies, and it can die in an instant, or over years, or in waves throughout a lifetime, what remains? Just this, just now, just the simple, immediate, undeniable reality of being alive, aware, here. No past casting shadows, no future pulling you forward, no story creating distance between who you are and who you think you should be. Just presence. Pure, open, choiceless presence. This is not a destination, it's a recognition. It's seeing that the thing you've been looking for has been looking through your eyes all along. You are not lost. You never were. You were just confused about what you were looking for. You thought you were looking for a place, a purpose, a path, but you were actually longing to remember yourself. Not the self you've constructed, the self you've always been, the awareness, the consciousness, the life itself that moves through you. In the Upanishads, there's a beautiful teaching Tivam Asi. It means you are that. You are the very thing you're seeking. The divine, the truth, the wholeness. It's not separate from you. It's what you are. Not what you'll become when you're more spiritual, more healed, more evolved. What you are right now. In this body, with this mind, with these imperfections and confusions and questions. All of it. All of you. Held in the infinite awareness that has no beginning and no end. You're not looking in the wrong direction because you chose the wrong path. You're looking in the wrong direction because you're looking at all. The seeing is already here. The awareness is already present. The home you're seeking is the one you're standing in. So what now? Where do you go from here? Nowhere? And that's not resignation. That's liberation. You go nowhere because there's nowhere to go. You've already arrived. You've been here all along. But you can live differently from this recognition. You can move through the world without the weight of needing to prove something, fix something, become something. You can work love, create, contribute not from lack, not from fear, but from overflow. From the simple joy of being alive and expressing that aliveness in whatever form calls to you. You can have goals without being imprisoned by them. You can grow without believing you're incomplete. You can strive without suffering, because you'll know the value of your life doesn't depend on where you end up. It's already here, in the awareness, in the presence, in the miracle of this moment, exactly as it is. Here's what I want you to take with you. You are not a project. You are not a problem. You are not behind schedule in some cosmic race toward enlightenment or success or self-actualization. You are life itself, momentarily experiencing itself through these eyes, this body, this unique constellation of experiences and perspectives. And that, exactly that, is enough, has always been enough, will always be enough. So stop looking, stop searching. Stop trying to find yourself in achievements, in relationships, in spiritual experiences, in some future version of who you might become. Turn around, look within. Rest in the awareness that's reading these words. Feel the aliveness that's breathing you. Recognize the consciousness that's been here all along, quietly watching, patiently waiting for you to come home. You're not lost. You never were. You were just looking in the wrong direction. Now you know. The only direction that matters is the one that brings you back to yourself. Welcome home.